another Wednesday house tours episode. First, let me do a quick tweet. I think I haven't even logged in yet. I had to shut down because I was having trouble logging into Twitch to start with, and so I had to reboot the whole system and finally got in. Because I've been like trying to get in to Twitch for like the last 15 minutes or so, and so everything is kind of logged out now. So let me set that up real quick so folks know that we are on. Okay, that's done. And I also want to do a quick reminder for those that weren't here the last time that I mentioned it. Katya, the one that handles the, well, Katya's Builder Toolkit add-on, among other things. She did have a demo video up to kind of explain some of the features of the add-on, but it's basically really badly outdated. And so I guess in place of that, she's been holding some classes on Entity Exile side, like little 1 hour bits so that people can kind of get some one-on-one hands-on training with her to kind of show them how to use the add-on, both basic stuff that it does and some of the more advanced things. And she was telling myself and a couple others about this, and said that she would like to know if there would be any on Jabbit-EU side, Exiles, that would be interested in such a workshop, because she would be more than happy to set up, arrange a day and a time to give people an opportunity to kind of touch base with her on that. That way, if you have any questions or confusion about something, or just want to learn some of the tools a little better, this would be your opportunity to learn it directly from the add-on author herself. So essentially, the way it works is the students get roommated to an empty plot of hers, and then you get hands-on instruction, probably anything from how to use the difference tool, how to do making the stairs really quick and easy, the advanced bits like with linking sets and creating sets and all of that kind of stuff. But if you think it's something that you would be interested in, or someone would be interested in, please get them in touch with me, either through Twitch, Twitter, on the forums, or in-game. Again, as far as I know, this is just for Exile side only at the moment. She may be branching out to Dominion side. I do know we have a Dominion contact over there that has kind of indicated that they might like to hold some classes themselves, but they'd first like to see how she's got her little arrangement set up and everything. So for now, it's just Exile side, but if there's something that anyone feels like that would be something they could get into, or would like to find out more about, just let us know so that I can get that word to her and see about arranging some days and times. She was talking something about maybe this weekend or next week. Probably definitely wanting to try to do it before the major holiday time comes in. So just depends. And I know a lot of people can't commit because we don't have any exact days and times yet, but if the interest is there, I'm sure she would do this more than once. Maybe not every week or anything, but maybe once a month, have a little gathering on our side so that she can kind of give us the opportunity to learn how to better use her add-on. Hey Samson, welcome to the show. So anyway, that's that. So let's get to the tours. Let me just close down some of these windows here. As some of you may have noticed via Twitter, WildStar core site is going down for good, officially, again. It went down once, and then there was a big outpouring of people saying, no, we've got to revive it. And so we tried rebooting it, and it just didn't work out. So while I've mentioned before that there will be no more spotlights through that site since it's going bye-bye, I mean, it's not even going to be archived or anything. I have had several people approach me about keeping that kind of thing alive through the tours, specifically the little interviews that I was doing with the builders. So as it happens today, I have two interviews that I will be interjecting into the tour, and hopefully folks find it fun to find out a little extra information. Excuse me, I still have the throat thing, yes. I remembered my glass of water today, though. Okay, so the first one, which doesn't have an interview, unfortunately, is Ovis Wiggleson, their plot. I'm just going to type the name in chat in case anybody wants to come and actually check it out in person. But as you can see, the name is Prepper's Paradise, and it's tagged for RP. And I came across this place when they were still kind of working on it, and I noted it down, and later they contacted me to let me know that they had basically finished it up. And excuse me. And so I was determined to come by and visit again on the stream because I thought it was a fun idea. We've seen some in the past where it was kind of like doomsday thing, but it was kind of like after the fact. But these are like the kind that are preparing for doomsday. And you can see they've got their little compound or whatever heavily secured with all sorts of weaponry and deterrents like the razor barbed wire and stuff. Just kind of a little intimidating, you know. But I love a lot of the things that they've added in here. It just kind of, if you want to build some kind of a fort or like a bunker type of thing where you kind of got like a little military kind of scene going on, this is a good place to come by. Even if it's not exactly following the theme that this is, you can still get some fun ideas. So you've got this little like barricade wall kind of thing going on. Nicely set up, different guns and everything. And I love the little stairway here. It's simple, lots of Tua pillars, of course, since you know it's a custom staircase. But the fencing for the railing is a nifty idea. Excuse me. Now you can see they've kind of gone with a really dreary looking plot. They've got, it's all like burnt grass, and even the sky is kind of yucked up, and it just looks like, you know, end of days is coming very soon. I don't know what exactly they're using for all of these pieces. I think it's just the granite walls overlapped and kind of guided around to make this pathway. I know a lot of people can't stand the clutter showing because then of course you get this grass poking through, but I think for this particular plot that works okay because it's kind of like they're prepared, but it's a little unkempt, you know, kind of in sort of in the wild, so it's not like fully paved everywhere. It's like bits have been kind of overgrown with sand blowing over it and then all the grass and everything. So while there is the custom house here, we're just going to go around the rest of the plot first to kind of look around. So here we have a corral of little Rouse Dower. I like the little little hill here. I'm not quite sure what they're using for the hill. I wanted to say it was a pile of hay, but I don't think that is because it's pretty dark. And this is just an olive tree, I think, so it's not like the really big, massive umbrella tree being used. So I'm not sure what's under there, but they've used something and just put grass over top of it, and of course planted their little WildStar everywhere. Then you have this little mountainy area. Which is nicely done. And it leads to their little landing pad for their ships and stuff. So you've got this little arrangement for, loading up the weaponry and fueling it. Hey, Bones. Yeah, it does. It looks pretty drastic. But I like the little runway lights. The only thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is it feels like it's crooked, but that's the only thing. I really like the idea. I think these are those new Exile lamps. I'm not for positive, but I think that's what that is. I've seen others use different things. I've even seen candles being lined up as the little runway strip, having 2 rows of it and then the strip in the middle. But this works really well. If someone's wanting to make like a highway or even a regular road for like a town, this would be good for like the little divider line. It would be a lot, and of course you can't have too many if those are considered lights, but for one little strip of highway or something, that would be fun. Of course, they've incorporated their several fab kits. They work for this particular plot. You got the repair shop, their little moonshine outfit there. Got to have the moonshine for the preppers. I'm just going up to the top. I really don't know if there's anything up here, but come on. Jump, you silly thing. We've really made a good use of these new stones that we got a hold of. But I thought it might be at least a good view of the plot from up here, so it's gonna keep going. Oh, what's over here? I made it to the top without dying, so there you go. So there's a nice view from up top. Pretty barren, but there's a little bit of purpose in everything that they've put out here. So it looks like almost like a little town, but it's really not. I mean, it's just the one main facility and then these little bitty gatherings on the side here. I can make it down without taking too much damage. And then, of course, they have their water source with this custom little river going through. Just kind of runs right off the edge there. Rather deep. And then you've got they're really into their alcohol. I guess this is kind of an extension of the brewery over here. They got this little wine, it's not really a cellar, but storage. I guess it's got food and stuff too. Maybe it's just like kind of like a pantry altogether. Excuse me. Hills are alive. I don't know. I've never actually saw that, so I really can't say if it's anything close. Here's their little vineyard, I guess, for the fruit and then the trees. It's one way to do it. Very organized and tidy looking. So they're doubly alcoholed up. They got the moonshiner kit over there, and then the winery over here. But then you have this little, I don't know, Owl Mountain or something here for where the water is coming down for the water source. And of course, using the rope bridges to make this arched bridge. It's a nice way of just having the railings already built in, not having to worry about that. Again, they just kind of built this all in to kind of guide you around the plot. And I think this is supposed to be their little arena thing where they can practice their survival skills or whatever. Interesting use of the spotlight for the main arena part. A little blinding, but I don't know, maybe that's the whole idea. But you got the little vendors out here. And the little stands for spectators. Interesting that it's encased in glass. You would think that would be kind of reckless, but anyway. So then you got the hay fields here. So you've got like the 3 stages of the hay. You've got the hay growing, and then it's been shorn down, and then it's been baled up. I like the concept. It's simple, but I like that little thing. So here we have the custom house. I love the porch, even though it's kind of wonky, because I don't know, I guess it kind of suits the whole prepper thing where maybe they don't have the best of facilities and stuff, but they make do. They have this lovely little porch. I've seen lots of people add these on directly to like their their prefab home, which is nice too. But it's always fun to see it as a custom as well. So then you got this quaint little, I guess it's the living room, reading room, something, where they've just used the obsidian rocks for fireplace. Got this little ash catcher here. Bedroom. And the bathroom with a very cozy little shower. Looks like they're using a hammer and a little dome as the shower head, with a lever switch as the controls. I think this leads to the bunker house, so I'm gonna, okay, maybe not. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so let's go back out this way first. We'll take a closer look. I just want to get the main house first. Now notice they were able to use the actual come as they are stairs, which is fine. You know, it doesn't, just because a lot of people custom build certain things doesn't mean you have to. I like how they've managed to use the decking railings very nicely. You know, sometimes when you're planning out a house, you set it up and then you start adding details like this, and maybe it doesn't quite match up. You know, maybe you find out this is way shorter, you know, and you end up having to use 2, but then it's too big or too small. It's nice to see when something looks like it came, you know, like perfectly planned. Wow, another bright, I don't know what they're using for that bright light. I guess it's the I don't know the new name, but it's the pool table light. Thing is really blinding. So this would be the bar area where they can come relax. So there's some really big drinking mugs as well. I like all the little windows. It gives plenty of peeks out to the outside. And then here's like the little upper porch, which we could have accessed from the sidewalk down there. Get another good shot of the house. You can see it's almost like a patchwork kind of thing. Hey, Bucky. But like I said, with this particular theme, that seems fine. That doesn't bother me. Because you think, well, preppers are gonna like get scraps and just make do with whatever they got around. Okay, so that's the main part of the house. Let's go down into the bunker. So we go through the little washroom here into like a little storage area where they've got little chairs and bits and baubles. Again, it always, I like looking at even this kind of room because, again, these things they put there themselves. Like they've got this overturned picture and the briefcase on top of the crates and all of, even the crates, them being stacked. That's them purposefully stacking them in that way. They don't come stacked. Yeah, the generator connected to the outside. Let me go look at that again, just to make sure everybody caught that. And Samson mentioned it. They've got it connected to the cellar as well. Got all these wires. See, even though it's a fab kit, the windmill fab kit, they've added their own little touches to it. It's fun. So it looks like, well, they've got it all juiced up. But you actually get access to the downstairs through this back room. See if I can meander my way through again. So this is the inner workings of down below. So let's start going room by room. Here's a little storage room as well. Again, all these little details. I mean, look at the pile of toilet paper up here. All their little treasures. More paintings and things. Supplies. All that's them putting that in there. Then you got the library. I like the little seat with the cushions on it. You know, even the preppers, they have to have comfortable seating. A lovely little kitchen, or kitchenette, I should say. I like the shelving, and even they've got a little utensil tray down here. Isn't that cute? So many little details like that. I just love that. Anyone that's watched my show knows that those little things always catch my eye. I mean, the cabinet itself is nifty, but having that extra little effort there just kind of makes my day. Then we got the dining room here. And see little touches like putting the bamboo into the vase. Got water coming out from a drain from the ceiling, and then it pours into a little basin here. Think about how many waterfalls they had to use to make that. How cool looking is that? That's just nuts. Well, I guess those aren't waterfalls. Those are the winding rivers, I think, because it's curved. Wow, that is just nuts. I mean, you could almost 1, 2, 3. It was like a lot. That's like more than you want to think about, I think. So then they got all their little armor displays going on. It's one way to kind of show off your collection with all your little mannequins. Then we have the med lab here. like their little plus sign there, made up of, I think those are exile walls. Yes, it is a nice effect. But see, it's those little things too that eats up your decor, you know. If they made building blocks like not count for against your decor count, I think we would be so much happier. Then you could get away with using some of those basic building blocks a little easier. Obviously, the water's not listed under building blocks, but like with the walls and all the pillars and stuff he's been using, or they've been using, it just hurts that much more when you go to make something nifty like that basin. But that's a really cool effect, definitely. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll go up just a little bit here. And it looks like kind of like their Elden lab kind of thing. They got lots of little bits on display. Even in these little glasses, if you can, I don't know if you can see it really well, but they've got the shot glasses and tall glasses with little plants inside them, which is a nice, easy way to make a little display kind of thing. A little off-centered, but no biggie. I like the idea of it. It's just this glass is not as transparent as the other glass. That's the only thing. And I guess this is their little weird power source or something. Strange. Okay, whoops, ran into the wall there. Again, that's just a nifty thing. I think those are just pillar tops there. See in here. Well, isn't that kind of a little weird to have the bathroom right under the power source? A little strange. They duplicated their shower head, and I can see better that this one's got an actual drain inside the dome, too. Nice idea. Okay, where do I need to go up? Did I already go to the up? Don't think so. Let me go up. Ah, yes, their little pool table. This is a cool little design. I've seen a lot of versions. I've made a few myself, but it's always fun to kind of see what other people do. Like, I think this is supposed to be the stuff that you put on the end of the cue, I think. I don't know. And then look at the cue stick itself. It's multiple 2x4s. I don't know if you can really see how it's kind of made up of many, and they've just kind of slowly shrunk it down so that it's got the small little pointed end. That's a lot of yeah, the chalk, that's what it is. But that's a lot of wooden boards there. I mean, even to make up the table itself took a lot of boards. And of course, using the sporty spheres for the balls and the cue. Looks like domes for the holes, and of course the flat metal table for the top. Still cool. And I love these hover park pieces. I forget what they're called, edge something, I think. I love these things, and they found a nifty way of using them as display little shelving on the wall. Those would be good for like sconces. I've used them, as like putting four of them together, making a little table. I used them in my catacombs to make those nice big arches and everything. It's a really fun little piece. Let's see. Up here looks to be like kind of a lounge area. I like that. You put the note in a bottle inside the vase, so it looks like the vase has some papers in it, some scrolls and stuff. That's a good idea. And then another bedroom. Got the little computer place, little funny display thing. And then their little entertainment area with the TV. Look at the TV set. How complicated is that? Looks to be, I think they're called the HoloVision now. Used to be television, but I think it's HoloVision. They got the speakers on the side, and for the little drawers, I think it's the car-themed dresser. Lots of 2x4s again. They've used those quite a lot in this build. If those didn't count as part of your decor count, they would have so much more room to add a lot of extra little details. I like the simplified flower pots here, using the dome inside a dome. This one's the hollow one, and that's the solid one, and make a little plant arrangement. Adding the flowers onto the trellises to make it look like, I don't know, maybe roses or something. A rose vine kind of thing. Notice rather than dirt, they've used the logs as kind of like the filler for the plant troughs. Taking another look at this, where they've, again, it's not like one single thing. I think they've got several here. I see a Samson running around. That's a really cute little idea. It's a simple thing. It's only used here, but that would be fantastic, especially someone, you know, wanting to really lush up their gardens and want to have like water, you know, coming into a pool or something. That's a really clever way of doing that. I like that a lot. Hey Samson, you and all your golden white armor. Kind of a bad view from the back. I don't know if they noticed that they should board that up as well. But still, a lot of nifty little ideas. Definitely a place worth visiting if you're interested in little doodads like the pool table and the pool and just a lot of, you know, even the kitchen area's got some really nice stuff. I like that kind of stuff. Okay, so the second one we're going to go to is, I'd actually wanted to visit their alt, but their alt spot is currently private, so we're going to visit Raven Swiftpaw. Now, some of you will recognize this. This is kind of an updated plot. Once free-to-play hit, they had to do a lot of adding and kind of modifying how things were done, especially the entrance. And oh, thanks, Bones. I appreciate that. I've gotten a lot of good positive comments about that, about my plot, in case people are wondering what the heck I'm talking about. But today is not about me, it's about everybody, about everybody else. Anyway, this is Ray's Mountain Spa. Now, I actually haven't streamed his house before, or their house, I should say. Because I think, generally speaking, I usually don't stream one if they've already had pretty good coverage in other people's videos and stuff. And I'm pretty sure Raven's Place was showcased through, I think it was Idystinia's little show. But I don't think there's been an updated visit of it, so we're just going to take a look. But Raven is one of the builders that actually took the time to answer my questionnaire. So after we take a look, we'll go through their questions and the responses that they gave. Hey, Maddie. Yes, Samson, you definitely have to visit my place later. It's been open for just a couple of days, so it's not really, the word hasn't really gotten out too many. I love the little pathway, and they had it set up like this before, but I think this is a little bit more overgrown than I remember the last time. A lot of windows for this, but I love the orange one. I use it for a lot of things myself. I do believe this is new, their little helicopter pad. Kind of, I guess it's the airlift for visitors to the plot, you know, if they want to go. Maybe it's where they can get a nice overview of the plot, I don't know. Yeah, Maddie, I love this one too. It's one of my faves. It's one of the first RP plots that I've come around. In fact, my guild, they had a little RP night here at one time. So if you keep going, we're just gonna follow a little bit. I love this little walkway here, like kind of makeshift little walkway. And then you come into the plot's namesake, which is the spa. And this place is adorable. You've got the little changing rooms with all the little cushions and towels. And look how even the gaps that are in the rock, they kind of like put the paintings inside, so it's kind of like you're seeing a scene from outside. Just kind of weird. And then here's another one. They're just kind of inset. It's a nifty way of kind of decorating up the walls in here. But look at even the little structure bits added in. Yeah, this place has gotten much bigger than I remember. I'm liable to miss something. Here's like, yeah, this wasn't here before, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the tanning beds here. Oh my gosh. Why don't you sit for a spell, Samson, get a tan. But the beds are just pillows, striped pillows. Thanks, Bucky. I appreciate all the positive comments, guys, about my plot. I really do have fun with that, and I'm glad other people are enjoying it. Oh, I seriously doubt that, Maddie. Maddie's saying that my plot would fit theirs to shame it, because I think they were thinking about making a mall too. Like I said before, just because I made one doesn't mean you can't too. I love all of your guys' stuff, so. So yeah, the tanning beds, that's definitely not something I remember from last time. See what's over here. Got like, I guess it's the massage table because they got like some oils and stuff. Oh, what's up here? Yeah, I don't remember all these like extra levels and stuff. They've really expanded a lot. And I love these little inset pictures and things. I think that's one of the travel posters. It just makes it look really, really nifty. Yeah, this is leading. I don't think we want to go here yet, but look at the little river here. I can get a good. Oh, forget it. I gotta go look. Look at the water and waterfalls and overlapping, but it all looks nice and well blended. I don't think we're really supposed to be jumping up here, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's see if I can get a good shot. They even have the guy. Now I know that's new for sure because that's one of the stuff that came out with the free-to-play is the geyser fab kit. So yeah, they've really added a lot to this. I'm going to go back inside because I don't want to miss anything on this section first. Okay, so this was, let's see, did we come in here? Yeah, we came through here. And then you've got this little area. This is the sauna, I think, where they've got the stones on top of the fire to kind of heat them up. This is where you sweat it out. Really nice little arrangement. And then I think these are supposed to be the showers. Very strange little divider. I don't think I remember that last time either. I like how they've got all these little pipe pieces showing from other decor to make it really look like it's some kind of water locked in. Yeah, it's not for me either, bones, but I think that's a glass in there used for the water. That's pretty good. Normally I end up using the file, but this probably works better because it's a little bit more flat. But it's shiny enough where it looks like there's something in there. That's a good idea. We'll have to remember that. Here's their little homemade little, I guess it's a jacuzzi. Got the little hose in there. And of course the water flowing through it. Let's see, did I see what was over here? And to think that all these little cave pieces, the obsidian rocks, and then the purple arches and everything, it's all nicely put together. It just looks like one big piece. So then you come out and you've got this little seating area, all the cozy cushions and stuff, and then it overlooks, I guess this is the hot springs fab kit. Look how lovely they've built this into it. I mean, it looks so nice. The little pillars and steps and floors all in combination to make a nice smooth little walkway porch. I don't know what you call that thing. I'm not sure what I think those are the tiki lamps sunken in, and so you only see the top of it. Pretty sure that's what it is. Lots of little waterfalls coming through. It's got a nice little cozy mood. Like I said, my guild came here once before, kind of role play a little after work kind of thing. I like the vents with the steam coming out. Nice use of the blue flares. Again, I think they're using a glass inside the trough for water. Steam's making me cough. Okay, and then you've got plenty of, different kinds of stones. They all kind of blend together because they're all kind of bluish purple. But still fascinating how people can make this look like it's... If I tried to put a bunch of rocks together like this, it would look so messy, I guarantee. So here we have like I guess it's the shroom cave. There's all kinds of different shroomy plants. And then they've got a little seating area here. I mean, look at that. It looks like it's tons of different rocks. It's probably the one that's kind of like got the hole in the middle. And so it just looks like a bunch, but look at all the overlaying bits. I don't even want to know how many pieces they had to use. Just crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's see. I think we can go through here. Now, I haven't forgotten that we have that upper part to look at. I'm just kind of catching everything down below first. So that's where we headed off to the side for the sauna. And then if you come around this way, it takes you to a little, I think it's the meditation fab kit. It's either that or the rock garden. I get the two confused. I don't know if they've actually added any bits to it, but they found ways to put in all sorts of different kinds of plants and make it look nice. You know, usually if I do it, I feel like I have to use the same kind of plant over and over just to make it look uniform and everything, but they do fine without doing that. Let's see, I don't want to go up just yet. We'll stay downstairs for now. So we have little path. Okay, this I think is the meditation one. Or maybe it's the rock one. See, I don't know which one's which. I don't know. And then it leads off into an exonite kind of area. Like there's so much in this plot to look at. I'm glad the jumping is fairly straightforward, because if it was any kind of a puzzle, I would be in trouble so bad. Let's see. Can we go up here? Yeah. Wow, this just keeps going. Wow. There's a little hut up here. How cute is that? It looks like little shrooms being used as the candle holders. That's a cute little, like a cabana or something. There's another one. This one's for the little dining. Cute way of fencing it in with the trellises there. Wow, what did I find? It's like, look, it's attached by chains and got all these little ladders. Okay. I think we're back at the first one. Let's see. Is that where, that's where we come in, I think. Okay, so we went there. I'm getting lost here. There's so much good stuff to look at. So here's the garden fab kit. I don't know, again, it's hard to tell if they've added anything to it or not. Sometimes when you can't tell, that's kind of a compliment, because then it just looks like it's part of the thing. I think this is all kind of telling me you don't need to go over that way. Okay, so I think we've gone all around the exterior. Let's go back into the sonnet and take that bridge up. Yeah, I even love this little, the little awning here that's made out of dividers. Okay, where was that? Was that in here? Goodness, I can't remember now. Yeah, it was over here. Up, up, up we go. And then out across. I love the use of the ivy as well. Get a good shot here. For the overgrowth here and there. You don't have to use it, constantly, but just little touches here and there is a nice approach. When you find something that works well, you don't want to overdo it. So here's, yeah, those are those tiki lamps. Some more tiki influence. Got the mask and lamps and torches and things. I guess it's meant to be like a kind of an overlook. Really see all of the waterworks down here. And get kind of an overview of the plot in that direction as well. And then it goes from the decking and it switches to the rope bridge. Now, I probably would have tried to incorporate some kind of a bow in this to kind of make it droopy. Yeah, it is, Samson. It's incredible what people can fit in. Compared to this one, mine looks so barren, but it's just how we use our decor differently. They're really good at, there's some players that are builders that are excellent at landscaping and making it full and filled out, and I'm clearly not that, not that talented, because mine looks so empty. So here we have another kind of little overlook, but it's kind of like also a shrine thing. For what? I'm not sure what that is. Just a crazy amount of water, all the rocks. It's just wow. But yeah, they finished this off nicely because when I came by for a visit shortly after Free to Play, this was still pretty much empty, I think. They were just adding this in. And we haven't even been on the inside of the house yet. This is still all completely exterior. So you follow the decking all the way down to the little Orin area. The only unfortunate thing about the Orin tents is you can't go inside them. They have a collision that goes on. But you can put NPCs in there. Look at the water. Notice it's not just one. Like there's two there, two there. They've taken the time to kind of make it as smooth of a transition as possible from each tiered bit of the rocks. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. It runs right off to the side. Little bits here and there. A lot of fun attention to detail. I like that. That's what makes a plot like this memorable. You see this. All right, Samson, I'll see you later. Thanks for dropping by. I don't want to hear about your crooked finger. That picture still haunts me. Oh, I hope it goes well though. So yeah, amazing, amazing stuff. Okay, I think I've gotten everything on the exterior, so we're gonna take a visit into the little house here. If I, yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the interior. I don't remember if it's just supposed to be where the owner of the sauna lives or what, but you'll see that even here they've done a brilliant job of details. I mean, look at the little shelving here, all these little bits. and the cabinetry. I think that's a orange dresser, the top of it. This one's a bench. Another little bench looking thing. Little shelves for their glasses. Bench for the, well, maybe these are the tables and those are the benches for the drawers. And right here. I think that's the first time I've ever seen anybody use that little tiny lighter. Even got a little drying rack and little touches of the plants as well. I'm fairly certain they're orange, so they liked incorporating a lot of plants. So here's a little cozy bathroom. I can get a good shot of that ugly toilet. Look at the little cabinet, isn't that cute? And notice how everything kind of goes, the blue and the green, all kind of has the same, you know, matchy feel to it. We'll go upstairs here. Oops. Here you have the little reading area, and I love their little built-in fireplace here. They've got a mantle and a shelf for the little display spotlights on them. Just a good combination of curved walls to make that little inset so it can be like it's built into it. And then over here we have a very lovely aquarium setup. So you have this whole little control system. Maybe it monitors the temperatures and the water flow, and I don't know what that gelatinous stuff is, but how cool is that aquarium? I believe it's just the clunky fire extinguishers, two of them side by side, set together and situated so that it looks like it's one big tank. And then a smaller one over here that's just using glass. There's no bubbles coming up. Right? And then further up, you get the little seating area with another kind of little shrine area, Exonite. Again, lots of touches of plants. Adding them in here and there, like they've made their own little flower arrangements with the bowls and stuff. Added some to the pod planter just to kind of help flush it, you know, flesh it out a bit. And notice the little, what do you call that, balcony thing? It's a really cute arrangement. I think it's 2x4s and floors with the floral pillars attached. Okay, which way do I go now? Oh, here's the stairs. I can get around, surely. So then you go from this nice, bright, kind of warm coloring to something that looks a little bit more cold and wet, I guess. This has that cooler feeling because there's all this misty feel. That, of course, is the medical cot hovering, giving that little aura effect. But here's like lots of shrooms. Maybe they're growing it, and they got to have it a nice kind of wet temperature. But here's the shower right here. A little visible for my taste, but lovely addition of all that growth on the walls. For me, that was the hardest part in decorating the Oren house, was this little tunnel here. I never really had good experience trying to decorate it myself. I saw many other people like them that did a real good job, but mine always looked kind of clunky. So here we have a little house, a home office kind of thing. This looks like a night light. And then a little bedroom area. And I believe that's it for Raven's Rays Mountain Spa. So before we depart, I promised that I would share some of the questions and answers that Raven gave um, for the interview that I had actually planned, because I wanted to showcase their house on the WildStar course site. So they're one of those that happened to send me a lot of their um, sent me their answers to the questionnaire a while back, and I just never had a chance to get back to it before the site decided to shut down. So this is my way of kind of saying it wasn't for naught. I'm going to go ahead and share your answers with everybody. So this is what they had to say. So the first question was, what made you pick this theme? And they said, oops, the wrong thing. They said, I really can't say because I do not think my plot has a specific theme. It's rather a place I would enjoy, a place I would feel comfortable in, and that I would like to look at. This is especially true for the spa area, which gave the plot its name. The second question was, did you do any research or planning ahead of time for it? And their response was, the problem is that things never worked out the way I planned them. Oops, closed up a window here. Closed up my dashboard. Anyway, they said, yes, I do visit other homes and get inspiration from there, and I write down some ideas that I love and that might be worth looking into, but the result is often much different from the original idea. The best example are the waterfalls, and that would be like these here that we see. They say, I never thought about building cascading waterfalls. Originally, I wanted to build connected rock pools, but that did not work, and so the area now looks completely different from my original intention. For this reason, planning ahead does not make much sense for me, but it is important to memorize my ideas, sometimes even by a kind of rough sketch on the plot itself. Then I asked them how long did it take them to build it. And they said this is very difficult to answer for them. And I can, kind of relate because most of us don't really keep track of that kind of thing. But they said, I started playing at release, and this was the first plot I ever built. Of course, in the beginning, it was not much since I was still learning about housing. I applied for a housing competition with my alts plot, Jojen Swiftball. They actually give a link to it, but you could probably look it up on YouTube under that name. Around Christmas 2014, and after that put a lot of effort into my main plot. Shortly afterwards, the mountain spa was created and remained mostly unchanged until plot size and object limit were increased. It took about 1 week of work to build the plot as it is right now, and even though I regard it as finished, there will still be plenty of finishing touches as I am still 500 objects from the final limit. Now, this was back in October when they were answering these questions, so it's very possible that they've already capped by now, given that they're one of those builders that doesn't walk away too often. They go ahead and finish what they're working on before they move on to the next project. It says, if I have to give you a number, I would guess that I worked on the plot for 2 weeks, but this is a very rough estimation. Then I asked, what would you say was the most challenging part of your build to create? And they said the cascading waterfalls. Um, let's get down here so we can see those a little better again. Anyway, they said it took a very long time and quite some retries before they were satisfied with the result. Then I asked, what is the part of the build that is your favorite or you are most proud of? And they again say the 2 waterfall areas. They have been my main project since free-to-play, and I'm very happy with how they harmonize with the sections which are already or were already there. Because, you know, that was part of the fear when the free-to-play hit and everybody discovered that the plot sizes were changing, and that was going to kind of affect how your overall build looked. A lot of people were nervous and freaked out and just kind of overwhelmed with the concept of adding new stuff into what they've already built. And a lot of people probably found it hard to kind of blend things in because maybe their building has changed since the first time they laid down some of their plot build. But this is a good example of someone that was able to meld the 2 parts together and make it look like a seamless, cohesive build without it, you know, looking like, you know, looks like they just had it that way from the very beginning. Then I asked them, in hindsight, is there anything about your build you would have done differently? And they say, in emphatic, no. Had I known that the plot size would be increased, I could have prepared for that. But even though I was very unhappy with the appearance of my plot after free-to-play was launched, I am quite happy with the result now. Then I asked, in general, what is your favorite piece of decor and why? And I always specify that it doesn't have to be something they're actually using now on their plot. It can be anything. They say, depending on the time I have used it, this would have to be the obsidian rocks. I counted and was shocked with the result. I have used about 200 narrow obsidian rock piles and more than 250 obsidian rock steps. They were a pain too many times. There are so many objects I like a lot. Probably right now my favorite would be the leafy overgrowth, which I would agree that's a pretty pretty nice looking decor piece, the overgrowth, which is that ivy stuff we see here and there. If I can get a shot of that. That would be these bits here, the little greenery. Okay, then I asked them their top housing wish. Something, an item or a feature that they really wish were added into housing for us. And they say cutting items. Just being able to make parts of an item disappear. So kind of like cropping, like say everybody loves these pillars, but a lot of us would love to not have that end on the end. Yes, it would, Bucky, if they made these in different colors, and that may be something that comes. I don't know. But I think what Raven is saying is being able to snip off this end and just have the straight pillar part by itself. They go on to say, hiding is something I spend so much time with, and sometimes you build something you are really happy with only to find that some segments, which extend into another direction, ruin something else. So that's a lot of like the clipping and overlapping and just odd stuff that you don't want showing. You wish you could just kind of snip it off. And of course, more and increased light, limits for lights. I hear a lot of people ask that because really 40 for such a huge plot and having that count both inside and outside is really limiting, especially for those like nighttime type of like club scenes and city plots. Those require, it's almost required that they have a lot of lighting for different effects, and 40 is just too little. Maybe they will give us some more, I don't know. And then finally, I asked if there was one piece of advice that they would want to share with new and potential builders. And this is what Raven said. The only real advice I can give is to look at objects from many different angles. Many objects can be used in different ways if placed upside down or if only partly visible and combined with other objects. One good example is the ruby-eyed thinker, which is just a creepy stone statue unless you use 3 or 4 placed at the same position but turned by 90 to 120 degrees and facing inwards. Increased in size and you get a nice mossy cliff. I don't know if that's anywhere here. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not going to spend time hunting it, but I have seen people use those thinker heads for quite a lot of like rock faces and stuff. Just hiding the ugly face and just using the back side because it's got those nice tendrils and stuff hanging down. And that was that. That's what Raven had to say about their plot. So, like I said, it's not like a full extensive questionnaire. I know there's a lot of questions people probably wish I would ask, like how much did they spend and everything, but it's been my experience that most builders, one, don't really keep track of that, much like they don't really keep track of the time that they spend on it. But also because we often reuse things that we've accumulated over months and over, year, over the year or whatever. So it's kind of an investment when you purchase something or you collect it or whatever, or craft it. It's not something typically you use one time and then you ditch it. Usually we use it and then we keep it and then we just reuse it again and reuse it again and again and again. So when you first start out, when you make your first initial plot, yeah, it's going to feel like it's a real bite in the pocketbook. But later, as you do, you won't have to purchase typically as much unless you really drastically just change your theme to something else. But even then, continually, you're not going to buy a whole new plot set each time. It's going to be, you're going to reuse parts that you already have collected. So it's really kind of hard to keep track of that. In fact, I don't know anybody that really, they can kind of guesstimate at maybe the going rates of things, like if they use a lot of massive umbrella trees, but even that fluctuates. One day it might be selling for like 4 plat, and the next day you can get one for 50 gold, and the next day it's back up to 7 plat. So it's just kind of, it's really hard to say. So those kind of questions I normally don't ask because it's just kind of, it's more guessing than anything. So that's Raven Swiftpaw's Raise the Mountain Spa. So the next one we're going to take a look at is, and it'll probably be the last one for today, is Alley Foxfires. If I can, whoops. This is going to be our first kind of taste of a Winterfest plot. I came across this one, I guess it was last week, and they were still working on it. And I think they're still continually adding things to it, little details, but it's just too cute to pass up. Oops, kind of sunk in the snow there. But as you can see, they've nicely decorated their little portal area. These are the Draken fence pieces. I think these are the curved ones. And then I don't know which one. It's either the short or the long one, the tall one or whatever. But it's the edge of it. Because if you look, you'll see the little skulls here. That's the only way I was able to identify what in the world they were using for their path. But it's a really nice idea. I figure a lot of people, once they see this, they were like, oh, you know, there's a stone path that I've been wanting. Rather than using individual stones, I'm going to use the wall because it's got all the little stones built in. And you can see that she managed to get a nice little zigzaggy path out of it, which makes it really cute and everything. Before we go into the house, we're going to just kind of traipse around the exterior first. So right off the bat, you kind of see the little snow-capped mountain that they've got going on back here. I believe it's just trees and maybe the tops of rocks that are being used for the snow cover at the tippy top. But I like the idea. And I'm pretty sure these are the new stones. I don't know if it's the gray ones. I think it's the gray ones. It could be the sand ones, but I'm pretty sure it's the gray just because of the color. I think they're using the Northern Lights sky, so it's changed a lot of the coloring for things, because the last time, well, the original time that I was here, it was a lot brighter. And they've changed this up a little bit since I was last here as well, because there used to be a boat out here. They were using a hover barrel as the boat, and had some fishing poles and things, and I think it was a couple of lop in it. But I don't think they were happy with how the boat behaved on this kind of still water. I want to say the water is made up out of glowing space wheat. I've used it for that myself, but I got away with only using one. But you can see they've clearly used quite a few to get this kind of wavy water look. And of course, the ever favorite hovering medical cots for that glowy effect. So pretty simple around the edges, but everything else more than makes up for that. You don't really have to do a super expansive kind of, I mean, the place that we had visited before was very lush and overgrown and looked very busy, even though it didn't feel that way. This one's a little bit more quiet. It seems like a secluded little area that, you know, someone has. Again, I think that's either a stone or something, the snow-capped stone. Oh, do you think those are upside down snow shoes for the water itself or for the snow on the edges? Because these are pretty blue. It's kind of hard to tell in this lighting, but and it has that crunchy sound. I don't know. I have my sound turned down at the moment, but it has a crunchy sound like you're wearing plastic diapers when you're running across it, and that's what the glowing space wheat sounds like. Because I happily discovered that noise when I was working with it on a friend of mine's plot. So here we have a little bridge with a little waterfall area. And if you're wondering what the little sparkle effects are, I believe that's the buoyant crystal something. It's buoyant something. Yeah, the trees I think would be wider. I want to say it's probably what they use for the snow-covered ground along the edges, but I didn't really ask them specifics about the type of decor they were using. I'm just guessing. Anyway, this is their little celebration area. They're still in the process of deciding what some of the booths will be, but this is where you get your drinks and soup, or maybe your hot, cheesy apple cider or something. And then this one is a candle cellar where they have different holiday arrangements. Some, you know, some tubes and things, just making some different. Again, it's kind of hard to see in the light. You'll get a better idea of some of these arrangements inside the house because there's better lighting, but it's still, I like the variety there. And of course these two, they don't have anything for sale just yet. Then you got the the little stage where people can sing some holiday carols or perform some other kind of goofy thing. Then the tree, and their plan is once we have access to the gift bags and the gift boxes, they will be piling them up around here. I know that for sure. But they've just used candles as the tree decoration. Then you've got Papa Phineas here, but it's the giggle me gaffo thing. Giving him a white beard, that's the top of the trees. They just kind of sunk a bunch of them in and made a little beard for him, which I think is cute. And then we have the sleigh with all of the little WildStar pulling. And of course you have the one that's got the red nose. Santa sleigh WildStar style. But it's just the cables, hanging cables with hanging chains for the harnesses, 2 pillows for the cushions, and then curved walls and straight walls for the rest of the sleigh. Simple but cute. You know, they were worried that it didn't look like a sleigh. I said, no, you got nothing to worry about. That looks just like one. I mean, the curve just looks, it looks great. Then they've got a little enclosure for some of the WildStar, little baby one. Again, they really made some fun use of the Draken fences. Little fork is the pitchfork, and of course the little hay barn. Lots of little hay piles there. And then if you hadn't noticed, this giant goat thing, I'll explain more about that later. Oh, no place for the toys on the sleigh, huh? That's true. Well, maybe I'll mention that to them and say, we had a viewer say you need some room for some toys. Put a little attachment here for a bag, a big bag. But this is a goat made out of hay bales. Like I said, I'll explain that a little bit later because Allie is one of those that I recently interviewed. I asked them to take a few minutes out of their day and answer some questions, so we'll hear about that more later. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go down into the bunker first instead of the main house. I'm just kind of teasing you with little glimpses of the house, and I keep walking past it. So I love this little, I guess it's like a dock kind of thing. I don't know if the placement of the lights has more to do with their lighting limit being kind of used up already. And but it's still kind of cute and a clever way of kind of, you know, bringing your attention to where the, you know, not everybody likes to hide their little hatch house so cleverly that nobody can find it. But anyway, this is supposed to be like an underwater cave. So again, I think this is those glowing space wheat because it's like that really deep blue. Again, like I said, I think it's the lighting outside that doesn't really lend itself well to showing how blue that is. But see, even the lighting in here changes the color of some things. Like, look at that gold pile. It looks like blood red in here. But the blue is like really intensified. So here you have the noisy lock, and like me, they can't stand the noise of them, so they stuck them down here in the cave. Like, well, that works. Nice little waterfall dividing the rooms. So here you come to this little, again, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be golden, but that looks really like ruby red almost. It's weird how the lighting can affect things like that. It's probably one of the reasons why I don't really play around with the lighting too much. Back up, and then we'll go to the main house. Oh, come on, jump up there. So first we'll get a good look of the exterior. You can see they've used a lot of 2x4s, walls. I mean, the whole roof is 2x4s. Even on the sides, they've carefully layered in a bunch. Got the chimney built in here. Lovely little patio area here. With it did have just the blue pod planters, and then they've topped it with those snowy trees to make it look like it's been snowed on, which is nice. It's a nice touch. So you can see the blue pods kind of peeking out, but they've been snowed upon. Here's another good view of all the glass in the walls. Little patch of snowflowers. Lovely little lamp posts as well. I think it's the hanging lamp, fancy hanging lamp, I think is what it's called. And then the Draken pillars. You know, I never thought about using that one, but it's a really good idea because it doesn't have all that extra stuff you got to worry about. Like when you use the sconces or something, they got that little metal attachment that you got to try and hide. So inside we go. Look at even the little bush there. It's got some little candles. Lovely little entrance. Again, you have to kind of decide, do you want functional doors or do you want custom doors that look different than everybody else's? The only thing is when you do a custom door, you do have to make sure that you leave one propped open so the people can go inside. But it looks fine. It looks really nice. I like the approach. Just glass panels, pillars for the handles, and lots of 2x4s. They really used a lot of them. So here's their kitchen. A really nice little setup. I love all of the little attention to details. You got the handles. I think those are the tops of bottles used for the handles for the cabinetry up above. Again, the pillars for the handle for the fridge, which is, I believe, the flat metal table. For the main cabinet space here, again, it's all bottle tops, foreign floors, and lots of 2x4s. For the sink, they've used my favorite piece, the travel posters, to kind of box that in. Looks very similar to the one that I did in my little cabin in the boonies. The only difference is they've custom built their faucet. If you'll notice, it's tubes and cylinders. And they do have a little waterfall pouring out. So probably if you've got your sound up, you'll hear the waterfall really loud right here where we're standing. And if you walk away from it, it goes away. But when you get close, it's like really loud again. Tiny chewer cups for the faucet bottom and the knobs. I think they have one of those the spore bushes, the poison spore or something. One of those decor pieces from Shades-EU to make the bubbles in the water, in case you're interested. It's like little green bubbles that come up. I love their little flour, sugar, something or other dispensers. Looks to be wine bottle tops with domes and cylinders in just different sizes. Nice little vent for the stove. And then the oven here. They did talk about they're wanting to change up the lighting for this. Personally, I kind of like how they've got it set up myself. I like how they got all these little wires for like the heating of the oven, and then the grill and the little tray with the raw bird on it. But they seem to imply they didn't like the way the lighting is done, so they'll probably change that later. But look at the little controls. Again, it's tiny Tua cups, and then they got one of those new, I think it's advanced thermometer pieces. Lovely little table made up of triangle pieces and a cylinder for the base. And I'm going to break protocol here and stand on their table so we can get a closer look at their little. This is one of those candle arrangements. I think they had one outside and you just couldn't see it really well. It's like the habanero flowers with, I think it's the mossy bushes that you can get straight from the vendor. But it's a cute little touch for the holiday. And you'll see lots of other little things, like here's another example of one of the candle displays that they have outside that you can see a little better here. Again, it's the habanero bushes, the mossy bushes, and then tubes, the blossoming flower, and then candles. Here's the TV room. An interesting little couch arrangement. When I first come up on their house, they had a bunch of Tua pillows all on the ceiling in the arrangement of this little couch set, and they were busy trying to decide which would look better. And I said that I preferred the white mattress cushions to the red Tua pillows because everybody, including myself, used the Tua pillows so much in our seating furniture, and I really liked how this one is different from most that I've come across. But it's a nice, cozy little arrangement. I really like this piece. Just Exile cylinders, curved walls, regular walls, and then lots of mattresses for the cushion part. And then just threw on some different pillows and such. And of course, everybody has to play with these new screens that we get. Then you come into the bathroom here. And I love the little toilet. Again, it reminds me of my place because they used a lot of Oran walls and Oran type building blocks similar to mine, but they've added a lot of nice little extra and kept it more simple than I think I complicated mine a lot. But the way that they explained this little arrangement is this direction is for the taller races, and then for us little Oran, we have this little step up here so that we can more easily reach the sink. And again, they've made their own little faucet with the tubes and cylinders. Very cute. And again, I love all the little windows that, you know, peek out into the plot so that you can see. So here we have a nice little shelf kind of thing, and then their little home desk with the little trash bucket. A lot of people don't even think about adding a trash bucket, but hey, gotta have one somewhere. So then we go up to the upstairs. This is their little bar area. They said originally they had put in one of the ready-made bars, and it just didn't fit very well, so they made their own, which I think is nice. You know me, I love the custom stuff. A lovely little fireplace here. Again, they've gone with the mossy bushes for the little greenery. Thrown in some of that, I think it's blood razor fire, I don't know, it's something like that. Little bushes to add a little bit of color. And then the candles. And the fire, I believe it's the new Blazing Trail fire with just some logs laid in there. Really nice little chimney setup though. Lovely little couch area. Again, lots of 2x4s used, and then all of these nice orange easy chairs arranged. And then of course got the little armrest here. You know, they could have left that off, but they added it in, and it just kind of finishes it nicely. Then their holiday tree, cute little thing. The star's made out of bananas. And then for the ornaments, they've used those little blood plant bushes. I don't know what the name of those things are. Balloons and files. Cute, simple, but so adorable. How nifty is that? And then look at the construction of the sides, that triangle part. Same way with here. Look at all the wood they had to use. Fashion that in nicely. Even the glass used for the railing. And added the 2x4s to just kind of solidify that up a bit. Here we go into the bedroom. Comes with a little vanity table. Very cute. Again, it follows the same as before. The bottle tops for handles, lots of 2x4s, and of course the orange walls or floors. And then we have the bathroom. They start with the tub here. 2x4s. Panes of glass for the water. Tubes for the fountain top. And then the sink. Again, I think they're using the waterfall because if I remember right, it gets noisy right here as well. The only thing that's unfortunate about the waterfalls, for those that want to use it in this way, you get stuck with that really loud noise. Now they changed the handles here. I think they use different handles here because this is the tops of a bottle, and I think this one is the top of a wine bottle. One of the other ones. I could be wrong, but it's the tops of the bottle of something. That's all I can say, but it's different from those out in the hall. Then the little toilet, similar to the one earlier, but a little different to accommodate where they put it. And then the washing machine and dryer. I kept the dryer really simple, but added a few controls. Maybe they're working on adding more, I don't know, but I know they added the water recently. Got their unmentionables in there. We're really an adorable little home all together. In my top 20. I hate to say top 10 because there's so many nice builds out there. Okay, so as I promised, I did kind of interview Allie, and let me see if I can call that up. Oops. Okay, so basically the same questions as before. What inspired this theme? And they said, I wanted a plot where I could change the season as they come with all the decor that comes without having to change the whole plot. And I can sympathize. That's one of the reasons why I made my current build the way it is, because while I do have fun and enjoy the challenge of a complete build, it's very time consuming, and sometimes just you kind of lack inspiration for an entire thing. You just get these little pops of ideas, and it's, I don't know, I guess it's more comforting to have like a skeleton type of build that you can work on without having to start everything from scratch. So you can just kind of change it up as you want. Yeah, the views from the windows are really nice. And it also saves on them having to kind of patch in all of these walls and stuff. Okay, I asked them, did you do any research or planning ahead of time for it? And they said, no planning, just had an idea of what I wanted and went from there. And that's how a lot of people can do it. You don't have to do all the sketches and the months of research like some of us do. If you just have an idea and you are fine with winging it, go for it. A lot of some of the best things have come out of just kind of accidentally experimenting with different decor and saying, well, I want this, but I can't get that to work, and all of that kind of thing. You just never know where it's going to lead. You know, maybe they originally uh, uh, were wanting something other than a lake and didn't even think about putting a mountain, but later said, well, there's something that's missing here, and they just threw that in later. You never know. So do what works for you. Um, then I asked, how long did it take them to build it? And Ali said around a month. So there you go. That's a pretty big difference between the 2 weeks the Raven took for theirs and a month here. That doesn't mean that Ali is worse of a builder. It's just sometimes uh, especially for new builders, obtaining the items that you need for something takes time. So they might start on a project and then spend 2 or 3 months trying to gather everything that they really need. Like one of the paintings in my art shop is currently only half done because I'm still waiting to get a hold of some of the materials that I need. I could probably buy it straight up, but I'm kind of cheap, so I'm waiting for some cheap versions. But that's one reason why it could take time. I know a lot of people, they'll say, well, it took me about 2 or 3 months, but part of that time I was away from the game because of real life things. So there's a lot of factors into why it might take somebody longer. Maybe someone just works slower. Maybe they were just learning how to use the controls, even the in-game controls, and I'm not talking just Katya's, but just the regular controls, the advanced controls can be pretty confusing to some folks. Uh, Even me, I forget like what direction each arrow goes to and everything, and it can take time. Or if you're a perfectionist, um, you'll make something and go, that's a little off, I gotta rebuild it, or you tweak it and then you mess it up, and then you gotta rebuild it anyway, and that can go on and on. So, you know, whether you take 2 weeks or 2 years, as long as you're happy with what comes of it, that's the main thing. Then I asked, what would you say was the most challenging part of the build to create? And Ali said, the lake. It was hard to get the pieces together. If you use too big of a size, then it shows up in the bunker. So I had to make it as big as I could without it showing up in the bunker. And I can attest to that. When I was working on a guildmate's plot, I was using one of the glowing space suite, and I had it like super, super huge because it was just going to be one big pond. And it took me forever to get it positioned just like I wanted. And it was perfect. Then I went to the bunker house, and there was this weird giant glowy thing in the corner. I was like, what is that? Did I put a light in the wall and not realize it? And come to find out, it was the space suite showing through from the thing that's out. I always thought that the two areas were instanced separately, but apparently there's a space of attachment somewhere. So if you make something super big on the outside or vice versa, it can show up and affect things in either place. In fact, I was visiting a home yesterday, and they were showing me around, and they had a lot of use of the massive umbrella trees, making all kinds of nice hills and stuff. And we went inside their bunker house, and they realized there were some weird tree bits sticking out where there shouldn't have been any. And they just removed it, I guess, deleted it or crated it or something. And then they go, well, I got to go find out what that, actually was. And when they went outside, they realized it was one of the big massive umbrella trees, so a whole area had been kind of messed up. So I was like, oh no, I'm so frustrated for them because I know the horror of messing up a key item like that. I don't know if how long it might have taken them to fix it, but yeah, something like this, when you've got oversized items, that can be a real big issue. Okay, then I asked, what is the part of this build that is your favorite or that you're most proud of? And they said the house itself, especially um, the living room on the second floor, and that would be the one with the orange cozy chairs up there. They really like this section. In hindsight, is there anything about the build you would have done differently? Ali said, I probably would have made the house smaller. That's something I hear, or I suspect a lot of builders, especially first-time builders when they're doing their first custom home, discover uh, later, once they've already constructed the base of the house, then they start to, fill in the decorations. They start to realize that they've oversized it a little bit, because when you start putting in those small chairs and small tables and things, you see just how much space you have left over. Personally, I think the house is at a decent size. I don't think it's, you don't want it feeling too crowded. Um, so there's enough room for, like, if they have a lot of people, a lot of guests over or something, it wouldn't feel too over, packed in or anything. Um, but a lot of people, they kind of compensate for that by oversizing everything. So you go in and you feel like a little baby because, even the countertops are like over your head, and the chairs look like you could sit in, 3 or 4 people in a chair, that kind of thing. So when you go to build your custom house, always take your scale into consideration. Pay attention to just how big your rooms are going to be, and how you're going to fill them up without making it feel like there's too much space. But like I said, while they feel like it could be smaller, I would be happy with this kind of size myself. The next question I asked was, in general, what is their favorite piece of decor and why? And they said the wooden 2x4, because you can build so much with it. And I agree, there's a lot of possibilities. It's just, when you get into it and you start, working with it, the more you want to build, the more it eats away at your decor count. It's the only thing. If it was like a freebie item, then I think a lot of people would just go nuts with it. And maybe that's why it's not a freebie item. I don't know. But like the little roofs here and the whole little setup, those are all 2x4s. Same way with the entire house, the roof and everything. It's a really nice, pretty little setup, but it costs them in decor count. What is at the top of your housing wish list? Again, just like Raven, more lighting allowance. They said there's just way too little light as it is now, and I think most builders would agree with that. That's probably one of the top 10 wishes, as far as from the people that I've talked with. Lighting, need more lighting. Then I asked, one piece of advice you want to share with new potential builders, and they said have fun and don't be afraid to try out things and start with something small to find the way to learn as you go. It's basically, you know, don't uh, don't be afraid. I think a lot of people get intimidated by what they see others work on. Just put that aside. Use that for inspiration later. But when you first start building, just kind of get into it and have fun with it, and you'll soon discover that you can be just as creative and interesting in your builds as others. And then lastly, I usually ask everybody this, but not everybody gives information on it. But I said, feel free to add any other insights or general trivia about the build. And they mentioned the goat, which I kind of said that we would talk about later. Apparently, this is a Swedish thing, according to Ali. It's their version of the, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, the Galva goat. It's apparently a Christmas tradition there. Um, it's called the Swedish Yule goat, and apparently there's like a really huge one that they build every year. And I think it has actually some like red decoration, like a red band around the waist, and some other bits on maybe the tail or the horns or something. But I thought that was interesting. I'd never heard of it before, never seen it. I looked it up on Google, and sure enough, there was this big giant goat that people were putting together. But I thought that was a nifty little addition and it's something interesting. You know, that's something that you couldn't get from just touring the house on your own. You know, why they put that there and what it actually represents. Oh, is it in Denmark too? Well, there you go. It's a Swedish and Denmark thing. Maybe it's in other places too, but I personally have never heard of it. But it's an interesting little, you know, kind of tradition thing. Oh, Scandinavian thing. Well, that could be true. So there you go. That's Ali Foxfire's plot. Just simply called Ali's house. It's one of those plots that you look at the name and go, I don't know, and you don't regret it when you click the button to say I want to visit Ali's house. Because not every home has that eye catcher title, and those that do have catcher titles end up being nothing. But this one is well worth the little visit. Look, what's down here? Nothing. It looked like it was like a little cavey thing. Like maybe they purposely left it there. That was kind of a tricky thing. But see, maybe they're planning to put something there, and now you'll know that it's there, and you'll hunt it down the next time you visit. So that's something. Okay, so Scandinavian, not just Swedish. Well, she just says Swedish. You know, that tells you how much I know about it. Like I said, I'd never heard of it. But I think it's a cute idea. And it's certainly, you know, there's no mistaking that that's a goat. Probably mostly because of the curled horns, but cute little thing. Maybe I should suggest to her that she make little miniature ones and have one of the vendors sell the miniature ones as like little goat plushies. I think I will tell her that. Anyway, I hope you guys had fun, enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure of mine, of course. I always enjoy these. Um, uh, I actually had a couple others on the list, but I think we've kind of gone over, especially with the extra little tidbits. Plus the fact that my throat is getting really, really dry. Um, but anyway, that's it for today. Um, we will probably get back to working on my plot tomorrow. Uh, I don't know really what we're going to work on specifically. It really depends on just my mood and how much time I feel like I want to dabble in it. We worked on the dragon painting yesterday. I went back yesterday evening and tweaked it a little bit more, so it's a little different looking than it was when we were streaming yesterday, but in general it's kind of the same thing. But be welcome to come and drop by and say hi and have a look, ask questions. I'm happy to, you know, stop what I'm doing and go look at something else on my plot if you want to ask about that. I know a lot of people have been pretty wowed about the dome. It's one of my favorite parts too, but I figure there's going to be a lot of domes showing up because of that, because I think folks have been really wanting some glass domes, and but I just warn you, it took a lot of glass. I think it was over 300 to make that silly dome. Maybe you could get away with using fewer, but the way I did it, it just ended up coming up to that amount. Again, it's one of those things I didn't keep track of how many I was using. It's just that's what it ended up being. Um, but we'll work on my plot probably tomorrow on Friday, and then starting next week, I think. Let me see. Next Tuesday, we'll start with the Advent Calendar House. It's an extra little special thing on my plot where each day starting December 1st, we'll be unveiling a little surprise. Some of them are not so fanciful, but part of it is it's just really hard to come up with 25 different little ideas, and I worked hard on it, but some of them are a little less impressive than others. But hopefully you'll enjoy the little different surprises from that. But that starts next Tuesday. Um, and then, of course, aside from alleys, I've been kind of keeping my eye open for winter-themed plots, and I'm hoping to at least hit one each week when we do our tours. Um, when does Winterfest start? I believe it starts on December 16th, so we still got a few weeks to go, but it's getting closer. It's getting closer. Once that does go live, then we will definitely probably start seeing a lot of Christmas-themed homes coming in to play, because I think a lot of folks are waiting for some of that new decor before they finalize and open up their plots to the public. But as we come across them, um, yeah, it's supposed to be the 16th. I think originally they had it planned for the 18th, and then they bumped it up a few days. Not sure exactly why, but I'm not going to argue. It's a few extra days to collect some of that stuff. But hopefully I will find at least one winter style plot to kind of visit each week when we do our Wednesday tours. If I find more, fantastic, we'll visit those too. But yes, you do, Bones. You need to get your winter plot going, because that will give us some extra holiday-ish looking houses to look at. Um, in the meantime, I wish you guys much success on your own builds. Um, if you happen to have a winter plot, either on Exile side or Dominion side for Jabbit, feel free to let me know. I'm not going to promise that I will showcase it on my tour videos, but if I can squeeze it in and everything, I will definitely try.